So Elon Musk humiliates himself in public while threatening your Social Security. That's the subject of today's video, and check this out. This is Musk playing with a fork and spoon, for real. What's he tripping out on? I don't know. You can ask Musk. The tweet reads, 15 hours ago, Elon Musk effortlessly balances a fork and spoon on one finger while dining with Trump. Peak genius and dinner entertainment. Laughy face. And Musk replies, a fork and two spoons balanced on the tip of my finger. This is the supposed richest and supposed best genius of all time in history. The guy who's going to come and save us from everything, right? He's hanging out with spoons and forks and whatever he's up to. This was actually the headline, which I want to show you, and I had to show you what Musk is because it's insane when you watch this stuff. Trump administration threatens to stop Social Security if Doge can't access America's sensitive payment personal info. Basically, if you guys don't know, a judge stepped in and said, yo, Musk and Doge, get your hands off that data, essentially put a restraining order on them. And then in response, they're like, well, if we can't have the data, then no one will. And they're threatening to shut the whole thing down. We're talking about Social Security. It's pretty insane. On top of that, they had their Commerce Secretary out, and I showed you guys before in the past video, but basically he's saying, if you get your Social Security cut, if you call, we're going to disclaim that you're a fraudster, right? That's what they're going to say. And he was saying, oh, well, my mother-in-law who, I'm a billionaire and she's fine and she doesn't care if her Social Security gets, cut. She'll just like, oh, everything's fine. But like to regular people, right? You guys need this stuff. Like to regular people, you need these services, but Musk is off playing with, forks and spoons. You guys see that? That's sort of how they treat this stuff. It's frankly insane. The way that they're doing this, and I just want to kind of show you and walk you through it. It says here, Trump promised to protect Social Security. Musk didn't, right? So they can use Musk in ways that essentially do the dirty work per se. And then a lot of these times when you go after them, they'll try to pretend, well, I don't know. And they'll be like, oh, no, they did it, right? So they're not going to want to take accountability on this stuff. The reason they were threatening to shut down Social Security, that one of their loyalists was like threatening to do that and saying, you got no, you're not the boss of me, essentially what it says. They did back down though. So they're not going to shut up Social Security just yet. But I'm putting this up here because I think their general idea, though, is they're going to try to privatize it, right? That's their plan for a lot of things. They're going to promise you all sorts of riches and it's like gamble with Social Security. My opinion, I don't think you should do that, but who listens to me? I laugh, and guys, I know it's not funny, but I mean, the stuff they're trying to pull is so ludicrous, and that's why I show you guys the footage of Musk just like playing around with whatever he's doing at the table, because you have to understand that these people are insane. On top of that, right, they want to use your money, throw it into whatever sovereign wealth fund so that they can put it in their AI and their robots and their crypto. And if you don't know what all this stuff is, consider yourself lucky. Basically, it's all a scam. If you see my prior video, Musk is basically begging his employees, don't sell your stock. You're all going to have 5 robots and you're all going to be rich. For real, you got to see it for yourself. It's a cult, but you have to understand how dangerous this stuff is. Now, Republicans, interestingly enough, have been avoiding facing any kind of voters or their constituents because they're supposed to defend Trump and Musk, which is, I'm sure it's not an easy thing. Now, occasionally they do take a town hall. This was a recent one. It's interesting. I'll read the headline. It says, at a ticketed event, Representative Michelle Fishback gets questions about federal funding cuts and tariffs. Have a listen to some footage inside.
No,
the savings that you're talking about in Medicaid, and I really appreciate you answering the question. The telehealth, to my telehealth, and no, why not? We want to get more specific about this. You can't just say you're going to cut telehealth and cut staffing and save $880 billion. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Either sit down or leave.
All right, I won't speak anymore.
There's no alternative. This is for everybody in the room. It's not for you.
If you would answer the questions more thoroughly, we wouldn't be upset.
She'll answer them on the cards.
She's not.
Everybody can ask the question.
So,
the lying of lying.
Yeah,
Telehealth is a smokescreen. That's not going to cover up $880 billion in cuts to health and human services.
actually,
It's a smokescreen.
so when you talk about
So I show you that because I want you guys to know that you're not alone. If you see what's happening, other people see what's happening. Basically, how it went down is she had an event. So this is, again, it was Representative Michelle Fishback. She's in Minnesota. And I think people had to pay $10 a ticket to get in, and then they could write like a question on a card. They only took a few questions, and then most of the questions came from like another representative, like someone, I think it was American Enterprise or something like that. And so a lot of people are really upset. Even if just a few of the questions, would be answered, it wouldn't be complete enough. Or as you can see, people in the audience are saying, you're just lying to us. Because I'm sure you guys can figure this out. Like they're saying, oh, well, we're going to just cut this telehealth thing and that'll, save us 880 billion, but the numbers doesn't really make sense. And that's what this whole thing is. A lot of it doesn't make sense. And they just want you to focus on other shiny objects or whatever, because they think that you have the attention span of Elon Musk, and Frank, who does focus on shiny objects, but that's where we are.
The F-47 is equipped with state-of-the-art stealth technology. It's virtually unseeable and unprecedented power. It's got the most power of any jet of its kind ever made.
On top of that, while they're making, cuts or whatever changes they want to do to healthcare, Social Security, these kind of things, we're announcing, I guess, we're going to be building new fighter jets, the F-47s. It's going to cost billions of dollars. I just want to, point out this kind of stuff because this is real, guys. If you do want to go after the big spending, you could go after the military, but I don't think they're going to. In fact, I think the Republicans are planning to increase spending on military. I've talked about this before. They also want to move assets around so they can use, military assets to do their deportations, that kind of stuff. That's who these people are. All I got to show you is who they are. Because sometimes, like, when you read this stuff, it's crazy. And the way they do things is so shady. Here's another one. Trump demands Maine governor apologize, right? Or the state will face consequences. It's basically gangsters. Trump and Musk are basically gangsters. You have to apologize. You have to say things nicely, kiss the ring. If not, we will threaten you. My opinion is not a great way to do things, but this is just the world that we live in today. I guess we're not interested in doing great things, although it's supposed to be great America, make America great again, right? That's what he says. This was another one. And again, I want you just to sort of follow what they're doing, what they're up to, so you understand it. Trump said he didn't sign the Alien Enemies Act proclamation. So who or what did? It's interesting because if you guys follow this one, this was the using the old wartime act as sort of a reason to deport all of those Venezuelan people. That was 3 planes. The judge ordered them to stop, turn around. The Trump people ignored it. This has ended up being a big thing. I think people are going to get disbarred over this stuff. Maybe face even greater penalty than that. Trump says, I don't know when it was signed because I didn't sign it. That's according to Trump. Other people handled it. Okay. That's according to Trump. Later, the communications person said, well, Trump did sign it. We do have Trump's signature right there. There it is. We have the order right there. There it is. There's the signature. And what's so ridiculous, Trump even had the gall to say, oh, wow, Biden didn't personally sign everything, right? And therefore, stuff that Biden did is not official, right? He used some sort of machine or something like that. And it's just like, when you look at this stuff, guys, a lot of politicians use whatever machines or digital signatures or whatever, because there's just too many dang things that to sign all of the time. It doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't do something. So, and basically Trump's a hypocrite. What I have to say, like, to say you're not signing something and then hey, there's a digital signature and then the White House comes out and makes a statement. But that's how this game is played by these people. On top of that, unfortunately, this is just what it is. Countries around the world are warning their citizens not to travel to the USA, or if you do, please be very careful. This is the UK, Germany, and other Nordic nations, and we'll see. I read a report, and I told you guys about this before, where they're detaining people without a specific reason. And, it's what happens basically. Your friend or family is like, hey, I thought they were supposed to arrive, and then they'll go to the airport or whatever, and then like sometimes they don't get any info, and then you could be detained for like a week to 2 weeks or whatever. Sometimes they'll just send you back to their country. Which, guys, if you're going to do that kind of thing, don't detain someone for that long, especially if they're not any particular, like, physical threat on anyone. But that's where we are, and that's why countries are, doing that. So I wanted to go over this stuff, just show you again who Musk and Trump are, the kind of things that they say, and show you also with the voters in Minnesota. They can see what's happening, and they're calling it out, and I expect more and more people to do so, as there's only so long that Trump and Musk can keep lying to you and cover the truth. So I do appreciate your time, and I'll catch you on the next video.